Hey guys, welcome back. We're talking about the hot soup glaze calculator. This video is going to be about customizing your calculator. There's a couple of things that we can do. Um, this doesn't really support a ton of customization. Most of the stuff here we can't touch because it will mess with some of the spreadsheet entailments and references and basically moving stuff around really isn't good for how this spreadsheet works. But one thing that we can change is we can move this particular we can move these objects around. So let's say, for example, that you don't ever use bismuth subnitrate and never will, and you don't really care about the effect of nickel or cobalt on your glaze because you feel like they're not used in high enough quantities to actually do anything. What you can do is we can remove these, like we can delete them, and we can move our alumina and tin to the left to cover them up. So when we do this, we want to cut the cells out. We don't want to copy them. So you're going to use Control X to cut the cells, and then Control V to paste them. If you try to copy, so I'm going to select these and I'm going to hit Control C and then paste those. When you copy, what that does is it pastes in your cells according to like the it actually changes the references for the cells. It actually moves them over. So for example, if I copy this iron cell here and paste it to the right, it's actually going to update these new cells for cobalt. And so if you want to move stuff around successfully, you need to be using cut paste and not copy paste. So what are some things we can do? Well, we can move some of these objects around to make things just a little bit more compressed. And it's totally up to you what you want to do with it. I'm just sort of showing you what your options are, and you can sort of go wild with that. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this particular thing. I just wanted to show you that in principle we can do it. Now, at this point we're sort of met with this problem, which is now that we've changed this one tab, how do we update the rest of these tabs? And we have some tools for doing that. So if you go up to the top menu bar and you go to Tools and you hit that and you go to Script Editor, that's going to bring up this editor here, and it's going to have scripts that allow us to actually duplicate one sheet multiple times, and it also has a tool for deleting a whole bunch of sheets as well, which I'm going to show you next. So when we do this, you want to make sure that all of these fields are empty. So you want to make sure that your title and your ingredients and everything is empty, because if those have any data in them, that data will also be duplicated. We're also going to make a copy. So let's make a copy of this document just in case things don't go quite right. Okay, so now we've got a copy. Now you're going to go to the first tab on the left is our duplicate function, and the only thing that we want to edit is here is this variable called iteration, and that controls how many copies we want to make. And because we have 24 tabs, we want to make 24 copies. So we're going to keep that the way it is. I'm going to hit that little play button, and it's going to try to run the sheet or run the function, but I don't think it was going to work. I think it's actually going to give me an error. So give it a second. Okay, so it says, we're sorry, a server error occurred. And that's just because we need to reauthorize this document. So I hit the play button again after I got the error, and now it's asking me to authorize this document to work with script. So I'm going to do that now, and once I've done that, it will run the script. Alright, here's what the authorization pop-up looks like. All you have to do is scroll to the bottom and hit the little blue allow button, excuse me, and it will authorize the script. Now what it's doing is it's created a copy of the our tab, and now it's deleting every other numbered tab in the document, and it's going to repopulate it with 24 new copies. And so this is going to take a hot minute. So I'm going to cut here, and I'm going to come back to you guys. So we've created 24 copies of that tab that we edited and made look stunning. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to receive this error once we try to click on another tab, and it's going to make us reload our document. If even when it doesn't do that, I'd recommend reloading anyway. You can just hit the refresh button to do that. And what we're going to need to do now is, what we'll find is that this actually doesn't actually totally work anymore. It's because some of the references, some of our internal references, that's just sort of Excel speak, are referring to sheets that no longer exist. And so we need to update those, and luckily that's pretty easy. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to the end, to the chemical analysis table, and we are going to click and drag up. And when I do this, what I'm doing is I'm selecting the little blue square on the bottom right of the cell, and I'm just holding and dragging, and that's going to update these references. The second set of references we need to update is in our start sheet, our first tab. So, and this one is slightly more complicated. What you need to do is you need to select just below this third row. So you don't want to select this numbered row. You just want to select the first one there. And then you want to select all the way down bottom like that. You don't want to drag down. You want to have this column sort of selected. And then you want to drag right. And then I'm going to select another group, and then I'm going to drag left, just like that. And now we're ready to use the calculator. So that's updated all our references, and it'll work perfectly fine now. Next up, I want to show you how to delete tabs. Let's say that you decide that 24 is too many. You want to have a more workable number. So I want to open up my script editor, and this time we're going to go to the left, and we're going to click on this tool called mass delete. This script deletes any number of tabs from our sheet, any number of numbered tabs, that is, and our two values are the first number, the first sheet that we're going to delete, and the last one. So let's say we only want to have 10 sheets or 10 tabs. I'm going to delete number 11. So for first number, I'm going to have that. I'm going to put first number equal 11, and our last number equal 24. So we're going to delete number 11 through number 24, and then I'm going to hit play. And now it's going through and deleting every tab other than tabs 1 through 10. So it's deleting 11 through 24 now. And so deleting a sheet isn't going to affect references for any of the tabs that still exist. So we don't need to update references, but still it's a good idea to do something about these about this here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these, and now I'm going to go to I'm going to update what's called our named ranges, and that's sort of a list of defined tables that we now need to update because we've deleted some values from them. So you're going to go to Data, and you're going to go down to where it says Named Ranges, and it's going to bring up this pane here, and we're going to change the compare range here. So we're going to click that and we're going to edit it. So you're going to hit that little edit button on the right, and we want to edit this value here. So if you click on this little box button, we can actually select this range, and we want this range to go from all the way from this leftmost column to the end here, and we want it just to cover number 10 through number 1. So we're going to select this range. We're going to select it like that, and then you're going to hit OK, and then hit Done, and that will update that range. Our next range is called the Compare Choices range. We're going to edit that to just include these 10 numbers over here. Awesome. Okay, the last one that we have to change is called the Glazes All range. So hit that, and it's going to bring us to this range, and it's a big one. It covers everything from this column on the left all the way to our glaze 24, and it goes all the way down here. So it's a big range, and we want to make sure that we get this right. So go ahead and hit that edit button, and we're going to select this range. We're going to go all the way from where we started, where it says label. We're going to go right to number 10, and then you're going to go all the way down, and then you're going to go hit OK. And that has now updated all the ranges, so they will work with our new glaze, or our 10 tabs. Last thing we want to do is hit the summary button, and you can see that now that some of these no longer exist, it's kind of messed up this page. So what we're going to do is, since we have 10 glazes now, for where it says maximum glazes, I'm going to get rid of 24. I'm going to put 10. And that's going to align our last 2 glazes with some kind of vertical bound here. And then what I can do is I can just delete all these columns that have glazes that we're not using anymore. And okay, so we covered how to edit one of these tabs, and how to sort of customize our calculator, how to delete tabs. Now I think I'm going to stop for now, and in the next video I'll actually show you how to add tabs, because that's actually slightly more complicated. It's going to build on what we've just done, but it's going to be slightly more difficult, but still relatively painless. And so that's going to be next.